Hey guys, do I look exhausted? Well, I am. From workday development to school to moving from house to house. Yes, this is a new house, a new office. Even though the bookshelves are the same, even though the doors are exactly the same and the floor is the same, this is a new house, this is a new office, and it took me a week to move, so yeah. But I am physically depleted right now. I don't know how I'm still sitting here. I'm pretty sure in about 5 minutes I'm gonna fall backwards and hit my head on the deck, and then wake up tomorrow. But you know what? The only thing that is depleting me more right now is not having made a video on how great this production is that I just saw. I came home a few hours ago around 3 or 4 o'clock. I was already tired. I thought I was just going to go to sleep and I was going to go see this production Saturday. But I made a promise to people that I was going to go see this thing. And I had an opportunity to go tonight at 7:30, I mean. And I wasn't going to break that promise. So I toughened up, put myself in the shower, brushed my teeth, put on some pants, and got my booty down to Columbia Theater for a 7:30 showing of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. This is a play that I've never really heard of before, and it's a musical, so of course never heard the songs either. So going in there completely blind, didn't have a synopsis, didn't have a summary, and you know what? I kind of wanted to just do it live. I didn't want to go look up anything before. I didn't want to spoil myself or anything like that. You see, I've already watched Grease, so it was easy to do a little bit of a refresher course on it or whatever, and then go watch it at Columbia last year, because I was already familiar with the content, but I wanted to go in there blind with this one. I just wanted this one to really tell me the story. And let me say, it was amazing. It was an amazing production. So first, let me compliment the people that were behind the whole thing. We have a director, Justin Emilio Ashbrook. That was the director. Music director, wonderful job here. Wendy Savarino. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing names, but the music direction in this show was real good. Stage manager, Katie Truluck. Sorry if I messed that one up too. Everything was great, stage management wise. People were in the right places. They were doing all the right things. It looked like a very smooth production. And then you have the assistant stage manager, Taylor Ramos. Great job by our stage managers. Scenic designer, Steve Schefter. Great set. Absolutely great set. I thought it was beautifully made. It was easy on the eyes. It was easy to look at. I thought it was a great set. Costume designer, Mona Jahani. Again, I apologize if I'm really botching these names, but costumes were on point. They were great. They were easy to identify who a character was and what they represented a little bit based off of what they were wearing. And I'm sure that this is based off of like the canon version of this show. So, even though you already have some direction, I still thought they did such a beautiful job with this. Lighting design, Ben Norman. That's not even a surprise. Lighting is always great when it comes from Ben, so very impressed there. Sound designer, Shelby Louder, or Loader. I think it's Louder. But sound in a musical like this, that's such an important job. And everything just sounded so good. And they had to change a lot. They had to mess with different voices and do different effects and all of that. So the fact that they were able to pull this off was just astonishing. It was amazing to watch. And then Corey was out there taking some photos. So, if you see him on the Columbia's page or the theater's page, just know that Corey was out there taking some pictures, and I'm sure Line 4 has somebody out there taking pictures too. So just wonderful job by these people. But I do want to get to the actual cast of the show. So we have a main character, or somebody that I believe to be the main character. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, or let me know what's up. But we have a Rona Lisa Peretti. Yes, that's the name of the character, Rona Lisa. And she's kind of like in charge of the spelling bee. She's one of the judges. And that was played by Camille Talbot. I apologize if I'm messing up the name. But what's funny is I recognize this person. She does a lot of like the Southeastern Sings stuff. She does a lot of like the choir and opera work. And let me tell you, she was perfect for this role. This character sings a lot in this production, and the notes go extremely high. So having somebody that has a lot of vocal experience is a necessity for that role. And Camille did an astonishing job, an amazing job, a phenomenal job. I thought everything sounded great. I thought that her songs went smooth. I could actually like understand what was being said, and the character was just really funny. I really enjoyed the character altogether. But Camille was a huge part of this show, and she did just a beautiful job with this. Vice Principal Douglas Punch. Apologize again if I'm botching these names. But Sean Auden. Wow, I'm not surprised. Sean does what Sean does best, and he goes and puts on a great show. The vice principal was basically the other judge in the show who had some like background issues and had to deal with some stuff in the past. And this is kind of like a recovered version of him, like the new vice principal Douglas Punch, and he had like his own little segments, but I thought he was really funny when it came to like the actual like competition where he had to be like a judge and he had to give off definitions and give off like language of origin and all that stuff. Like the way he was doing that was probably one of the funniest things in the show, and I really enjoyed it. Sean absolutely killed it. Then you have William Barfy, played by Marvel Beasley. Forgive me, I'm still getting used to different names, but William Barfy was the I believe was the one of the main characters as well. He's one of the people that stuck around the longest, but he was kind of like this nerdy guy. He had like the little, gosh, what's it called? I don't know if it's called cummerbunds or whatever, but he has like the little straps over him. He's got like the tie on. He's got the pants, and he has just like this funny walk with him, but it's because he actually has like a lucky foot that he likes to draw like his words out with. And that's what he used throughout the whole competition. But what I really liked about this character, and this was a great job by Marvel, was that he was very like spicy, I would say. Very spicy. You know, he was kind of like, he clapped back at people. He was very direct, very blunt. You know, just didn't take any BS. Like he would say his word and then he'd be like, I know it's right, and then just walk back to his seat. So love the confidence. You know, I don't think I could have had that confidence in a spelling bee, especially if I was in like elementary school. But that was a very fun character, and there's a lot of stuff with him if you go and watch this show. You have Olive Ostrovsky, played by Juliet Schuff. Another familiar name that I've seen before. I think she was affiliated with like music and stuff at Southeastern. But wonderful job. I really liked her songs. I thought her songs were great. And she had one of the most compelling storylines altogether. So, you know, a lot of things were surrounded with parents. And I guess you can find that theme more and more in a show like this that's dealing with like elementary school kids, because they're not really talking about relationships and, you know, careers and all that stuff. They're talking about like just simple things like home life, you know, family life. So to kind of get like into like, you know, Olive's background and to kind of see like what what made her the way she is, her approach to people. And you also like, you felt bad for that character too, because that character is actually very sweet to people. She's very connecting with people. And in fact, she might be the nicest one that was on that stage, probably. And then you find out like the backstory and it's like, oh wow, that's really sad actually. But I really loved Olive's character, and Joliet did wonderful job. The vocals were great. The songs were great that she did. And I was very happy with that performance. You had Mitch Mahoney, if I'm not mistaken. That was the... hold on. So Mitch Mahoney was this guy that was doing community service. I don't remember exactly what he did, but he was at the spelling bee to basically help escort people off the stage whenever they lost. But he was doing it as like a community service thing, like a court-ordered thing, because he was doing something before, whether it was like drugs or assault or battery or whatever. And this was played by Chance Roddenberry. And I believe this person actually played two characters. Actually, maybe three. You know what? I think he played three, because he played, his main character was Chance. I mean, I'm sorry, Mitch. His main character was Mitch, the guy that was doing community service. But I think he also played one of the other characters' moms. I know, crazy. And then he also played Olive's dad towards the end. So actually, Chance played three characters, which was pretty cool, and did a wonderful job with all of them. But Mitch was a really funny character. You didn't really get a lot from him in the beginning, and then like once you started getting kids like eliminated from the spelling bee, he kind of steps up a little bit and starts having like his own vocals and his own stuff going on. So you kind of got to wait a little while for him to develop up and move up. But once he does, it's a very rewarding experience, because his songs were great. His energy was great. People were really compelled to him once he started stepping up. Then you have Marcy Park, played by Kat Schefter. I remember this character in particular. Gosh. Oh, I'm so tired. Sorry, I'm just making sure that I got the right person. But I do. Marcy Park. So this was a character that I might have wished I would have had a little more from. This character was known for being incredibly intelligent, incredibly skilled, had like a wide variety, a wide background and things. Like she could speak like 6 languages and do all of this crazy stuff. But she was kind of tired of being like the alpha child, like the child that's great at everything, like the future valedictorian, the future Nobel Prize winner, all that stuff. Because it's a lot of pressure to put on a kid. So the kid just wanted to be a normal kid, wanted to be like everybody else. Didn't want to have to win every single competition. And, you know, I mean, I think you get the idea. So she kind of like, at first she's like very competitive. She just goes out there, but people start complimenting her. They're saying like, oh, she's all about business and she's doing great and all this stuff. And she kind of hates that, because she, deep down, she really wants to fail. She wants to be just like everybody else. And it took a little while for that to develop as well. But once it does, it really connects and it hits. It's great. And the song that she did was wonderful as well. It was a great character. I wish we would have got a little more from Marcy, but I thought Marcy was still a good addition, because I feel like I've met kids that were like that didn't want to have to be that person to be good at everything that they do. Because I did know kids like that in elementary school. I wasn't one of them for sure, but I knew kids that were like that. They were good at school, they were good at sports and all that, and it puts a lot of pressure on them, because parents are like, come on, you got to do this, you got to be good at this, you got to do all that stuff, you know? And, you know, it was very well played, and I was very happy with the job that Kat did on it. You know, Kat killed the role. She did great on the song, and that's That's what I can say about the Marcy Park character. Then you have the Lagaine Schwartzy. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. I didn't hear it too much in the actual play, so forgive me on that. But it was played by Arden Dubret. And this was a character that was quite memorable to me. Actually, one of my favorites in the entire thing. She's kind of like she's another one of those like overachievers and whatnot, but she's a little more complicated than Marcy, I would say. She often brought in like her dads. Her dads were like very competitive and they wanted her to win and all of this stuff. And she had a little bit of spice to her too. But her spice was incredibly funny as well because she was just very unhinged with people. Like she wasn't just snappy, but she was just mean as well. Like she would do all kinds of celebrations, and one of my favorite things that she did was just the pump. Like she just did that. And the thing is like she didn't just do it once. That was like her Fortnite move. Like that's what she did like the entire time. Like you would have like a character that's in front and the light's on them, so you're supposed to be focusing on them. But you see her up there, like on the seats with the other people, and she's like mocking somebody that just got eliminated or something, and she's just like doing that still. And I thought it was like the funniest thing ever. I don't know why, but I felt like a little toddler almost laughing at that. I'm like, I need to be a little more mature than this, but I can't help it because I feel like that's such like an elementary response. That's such an elementary thing to do. Is just like to celebrate like that. And she kept doing the same thing over and over again. She was a fun character. That was quite an experience. That was awesome to watch. Then we have Chip Talatino. Oh my God, played by Thomas Waguespack. Again, sorry if I mispronounced that name as well, just like I mispronounce every single name in this freaking thing. Chip was so funny and so likable of a character. He was the kid that wore like the baseball uniform, and he was kind of just like a crybaby sort of. Like anytime he got like a hard word, he would just like start like complaining, "Oh, why did they get an easy word?" And to be fair, other players were getting easy words, and they were supposed to be in the same like level of difficulty. But Chip was just like, he was so unhinged too. Like whenever he lost, it was because he experienced a very weird, how do I say this? Like a physical thing that guys go through sometimes. And he was just like, he was hiding that he was going through that. And it made his exit very awkward and very weird. And then when he left, we were close to the end of the first act. So the first act ends almost immediately after that. He comes back and he's doing like snacks and concessions and stuff. And then he goes into this song about the male physical thing that he experienced before he lost. And that was the thing that basically contributed to him losing, because he wasn't focused at that point. He was going through some stuff, He was mentally like checked out. He wasn't locked in. So he goes into this whole tangent about how he had some sort of physical thing going on with him. And this was literally one of the craziest songs I've ever heard in my life. But the crowd went nuts. Everybody went crazy for this song. And the dancing by Chip was the best. I thought Chip had easily the best dancing in the show. So shout out to Thomas for that, for busting out some moves. But Chip was such a funny character. Such a weird character, but such a funny character. And oh my God, I gotta tell you right now, my heart belongs to Leaf Coney Bear, Remy Dupret. Remy, great job. I was so impressed with this role. I was so impressed with this character. You have no idea. When I saw the pictures of this character, it was the guy that was wearing like the bike helmet and the vest and like the cape and everything. I'm like, oh gosh, this is going to be such like an annoying character. They're going to get on my nerves. I'm going to be sick of them. But it was the complete opposite. They were a crowd favorite. Everybody loved Leaf. Everybody was actually rooting for Leaf to win at some point because he was just so likable. He would, and I guess what made him so likable was in the beginning, he talked about how people were calling him dumb, stupid. He didn't belong there with everybody else. He only got in because he was like the second or third runner up in his school, and that's why he got into that county spelling bee. And there was like this feeling of not belonging with everybody else, and him getting some questions right kind of validated like, hey, I do belong in the big leagues. I do belong with these people. You know, this is, you know, I can do this. And he was so funny in how he did his act too, because everybody just ran up there and they would have like their different ways of like solving the word. Some people, like Olive, would like, you know, kind of talk it into their hand before saying it into the mic just to kind of get like a read on whether they're right or wrong, because they need to like, sometimes they need to hear it come from their mouth before they can be confident in it, I guess. William Barfy was the one that had like the lucky foot, so he would like draw the word in the ground with his foot, like kind of like a tracing mechanism, I guess. So they all had different ways of solving their thing. Leaf was just all over the place. Leaf would just go into like a long tangent about nothingness for 5 minutes, and then he would come back and answer the word. I'm surprised he didn't get like disqualified. I thought they would stop him in the middle of a musical scene to be like, oh, sorry, you just took too much time. Get off the stage. But Leaf was just so funny. He did like his little musical thing, and then he ran up to the mic and he was like he actually locked his arms like this, and then he would just like say the letters. So I used the word amazing in the beginning. So he would like lock in, and then his voice would echo. It'd be like God talking. So the sound design on this was like incredible. It was so good. And it would be like AMAZING, and like he was all serious all of a sudden right when the word was coming out. But before that, he looked like a lunatic. He was like running across the stage. He was talking about nothingness. He was screaming like, I'm like, who is this nut job? And then we find out he's actually like really intelligent, and it was so refreshing. When he lost, I felt so bad, and my heart will always belong to Leaf. But Remy did such a wonderful job. The songs were good. The vocals were amazing on that. And just such a likable character. Definitely a crowd favorite. Everybody was rooting for our boy Leaf. And we were very happy with it. And then like the craziest thing is, and that's like the main cast list, but we also met Jesus temporarily for like a couple minutes. One of the characters was going through some episode during their word, and they were praying to Jesus on whether they should get the word right or wrong or whatever. I think it was Marcy's character, if I'm not mistaken, because Marcy wanted to get the question wrong so that she can be like the other kids and not be like the best at everything, you know? So she had like a coming to Jesus moment, and Jesus literally like came in like dancing and like doing like spins around and everything. And he was supposed to like give her advice, but I think he gave her like a bunch of nothing pretty much. He jumped off the stage and he started doing like a little bit of this to people, and it was just like, what is going on? You know, like, yeah, I don't know what the point was in having that character there, because you didn't find out anything religious about Marcy up until that point. You didn't know that any of them were like believers in Christ or whatever. And then Jesus was only there for like 2 or 3 minutes. And when I say Jesus, I mean literally Jesus. Like he had like the full robe on. He had like this was full on Jesus Christ. And guess what? It was the guy that played Chip, I believe, that was playing him. So Chip went from baseball player having a male dysfunction going on to playing as Jesus Christ, dancing across the stage and blessing people. And a really funny detail, I'm going to say this real quick before I'm done, but he went to Mitch Mahoney, the character that was doing like court service, and he almost like, his character almost like freaked out because he could feel like all the sin coming off of him. Because he was going to every character on stage and like blessing them and everything. He got to Mitch's and was like freaking out a little bit. I thought that was such a fun detail, just to show people how screwed up Mitch was in all of this. But Mitch was like, he honestly wasn't even that bad of a character. In fact, I think he stopped the vice principal from having like an assault on a student or something like that. So I don't know. Mitch was an interesting character in the whole thing. But Mitch had this really loud moment too, like this solo moment where he just popped off and people went nuts for it. I thought it was incredible. But ultimately, everything was so much fun in this. The production itself, the sets were great, the sound was great, the costumes were on point. Everything was exactly the way it needed to be production-wise. The cast was so fun. Everybody played their roles so good. Everybody was so likable, and I can see why these people were playing these parts. Camille obviously relied a lot on her vocals, which was great, because Camille's got wonderful vocals. Sean, he's just funny. Sean is a funny guy, in anything that he plays in. I think I saw him he was doing like the shadow cast in Rocky Picture Horror Show. I believe he was doing that. Just a funny guy. Sean is so funny. Marvel, I believe this was the first time I saw Marvel, or at least recognized Marvel for a role, but played William Barfy so well. William Barfy was so likable in this, and Marvel played a huge role in making that happen, and getting people to like him. So, major congratulations to him on that, to Marvel. Joliet, this was the first time I saw Joliet playing in anything at all, and she did wonderful as Olive. I thought the vocals were phenomenal. I thought the singing was great, and I thought the acting was quite nice. So great job to Joliet. Good for her. Chance did amazing as Mitch, and then playing the other two characters. I thought the singing was really good. The raw solos that he did, wow, that was thumbs up, major thumbs up. Then you had Kat playing Marcy. Marcy was just, I wish we would have got more Marcy. That's the only complaint that I have, the only criticism. But whenever we did get Marcy was a very satisfying character to watch. Kind of like I don't know. I wouldn't even say she was really snappy or whatever. She was a little snappy, but not spicy, if that makes any sense. She wasn't like a mean girl. Arden did great as Logan Schwarzy. Again, I apologize for the names, but Arden, I think Arden was in Grease last year, I believe, and she did great in that. And same story here. But she played a much different character this time around. She played a very aggressive, mean character. And again, love the Fortnite animation there that she was pulling on people. Great character to watch. Thomas playing as Chip. I think Thomas had the best dancing in the entire thing. I thought Thomas was a phenomenal dancer. I thought he was incredibly funny and incredibly charismatic with the crowd. Just great job playing as Chip, and then also playing as Jesus. Because the 3 minutes that Jesus was out there was 3 minutes to never forget. But Remy, oh my God, Remy. And now that I'm looking at the list of people, are Arden and Remy related? Are they brother and sister or something? That's crazy if they are. You got two incredibly talented people that are related to each other. If that's the case, they got the same last name. But Remy's job is leave. Yes. Just yes. That was amazing. That was astonishing. That was incredible. Definitely the most loved character in the show. And I'm not saying that he was the best actor. Like, that's very subjective, you know? But I think people connected with Leaf the best. Based off of crowd reactions that I got and listening to people talk about it. So, Remy, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job. So, now that I'm at 30 minutes, I'm just going to wrap it up real quick and say that out of everything that I've seen at Columbia so far in the last couple of years, this is easily my favorite, and it's not even close. I thought the music was so much fun. I thought the singing and the vocals were great. It was easy to hear everybody. The sound design for people's voices, especially during like the voice changes with the echoes and everything, that was so good. The lighting, Ben, my guy, great job on the lighting. And then this cast was perfection. If I'm assuming, and again, forgive me if I'm wrong, because I'm not really up to terms on like theater stuff, but if that was the director, if that was Justin Emilio Ashbrook, or if that was Justin that did that, you picked one hell of a cast. This was Avengers level kind of stuff here with the performance. I have no negative notes for these people. I thoroughly enjoyed every second of this thing, and I wish it wasn't over. I kept wanting more because it was just that good. It was that good. In fact, I might go again tomorrow. I might go to the 2 o'clock and drop another $40. And like, I'm a student, but I'm not like a full-time student. I'm doing like part-time for my graduate work. So that's why I pay the $40. But you know what? It goes to a good cause. It goes to the theater, and it keeps them up. So may drop another 40 again for this because it was just that damn good. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. And I guess the next video will be Legally Blonde Jr. because I believe Columbia is putting that on in a week. So I'll let you guys know how that is. But until next time, peace.